So here we go. This is me starting a single player game of Conan Exiles during the Age of War. The second patch came out for it. It has borked a lot of things, including a lot of things that you wouldn't think it would. Alright. Let's see. We're going to make a character. I'm going to show you guys this. Race is determined by the slider. As you can tell, there's not a whole lot different from race to race. I mean, the Defari are basically cannibals. You got sailors and Zamorians and just, I mean, all the different races that appeared in any of the Conan novels or comic books over the years are in here. I don't think they really added anything specifically. I'm gonna go with a Nordheimer. And then for religion, I'm going to go with, let's see now. I'm going to go with Crom. Crom gives you nothing. The reason why I'm going with Crom is because Crom gives you nothing. He's also the one that is the hardest to get in the exiled lands. All the other religions, you can pretty much find people that can teach you. Voice, we'll just go with,
Cut me down, please.
Death is coming.
The gods are watching.
yeah, that's fine. Head options. Okay, so skin colors. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go with this. He's a Nordheimer, so that works. Faces. They have a decent amount of presets. Nothing great. I'm gonna go with this one. Hairs, I've added in a mod for hairs, which will give you more hairs. This is a skullet. This is the dumbest hairstyle I've ever seen. You have different layers of baldness. That's one of my favorites, so we'll go with that. Eyebrows are pretty much fine, except for the color needs to be a little lighter. I don't know, let's go with that. Select that. Then we'll go down here and we'll make his eyebrows kinda that color as well. Facial hair, there's a decent quantity of facial hair, but the facial hair kinda looks like a bush. It doesn't really look like a beard so much as it looks like some scraggly crap that's just stuck on the end of the model. It's one of the few things I can honestly say they really need to work on is the male facial hair features in this game. It's like, look, I have a patchy beard, I can't grow a full one. I've been sandblasted for months here. Why would anyone want to have this beard? Blah, blah, blah. It's horrible, horrible shit. Anyway, I'm going to leave his eyeshadow alone because I think he needs it. I think it lends a certain level of, how do you say, depth to his eyes. Plus, you know, it's a desert, so a little bit of dark around the eyes to cut down on glare makes sense, I guess. You have a variety of, you know, options when you're building your character. You can make them look as cool or as ridiculous as you really want to. I tend to try and not mess with it too much because, in all honesty, I don't really care as long as they function But you can go with really piercing blue eyes. I'm going with these. Body features, physique. You can go with nudity, none, or you can go the opposite route. Because I'm posting this on YouTube, I'm going to go with none just to prevent myself from having an issue. I'm going to make him big, so it looks like he's strong. I'm going to make his physique cut because he's, you know, strong. I'm going to make his boobs a little thicker because he's got pecs. And the endowment doesn't really matter because, well, it doesn't. And here are the crimes that I am, you know, being hung up here for. It's horrible things. Combo skipping, nobbling, and pickpocketing. It is what it is. And here we go. Let's see if this works.
During the year of the Cobra, a prisoner captured by unknown means was transported into the exiled lands, crucified, and left to die for crimes that they may or may not have committed. Death comes swiftly on black wings, until fate intervenes.
The reason why I'm doing this is to show you, one, what the game is like, in hopes that some of you may become interested in it and want to play it. It's not a bad game overall. And two, because I'm going to do comparisons between this and the server in which I participate on. So I can show you the area before and after what we've done to it on the server, if that makes any sense for builds. Now, this is an Unreal Engine 4 game, so it has a few quirks that were tied to that engine.
Dead man.
But it's not a bad
down
engine,
that
honestly.
corpse tree.
It's gotten better as they've evolved it.
It might kill you.
The problem comes with optimization issues, which mainly
civilized
comes
men
from
are
people not
soft.
knowing how to use the engine or understanding
Your
completely
lives
how
are
it's
not nailed to your spines.
how it works. You see that more predominantly in other game studios, to be honest.
Where I come from,
For
we
instance,
kill
I
our
find it
enemies in
infinitely
battle.
amusing that
We
Bethesda,
don't leave them in
another
the desert
game
to
developer that
die
I've
like
spent a lot of time
dogs.
with, and if you've been on this channel, you understand. When I say it seems like Bethesda
So,
doesn't even seem to understand how their own
again,
engine works
dead man.
because they don't understand their own mechanics. When they built their new game Starfield, they basically screwed the booch
This land does not love men.
in a lot of ways. In a whole lot of
You are
ways.
marked.
So much so that I haven't
Cross
bought
the
it.
Ghost fence, wearing that.
Now, the reason why I haven't bought it
It might have been kinder to leave
is
you on the
mainly due to
cross.
the fact that
Live, love, burn with life, slay and survive. We will meet again, dead man. Alright. It's my character. This is the desert. This is where you start off in the base game.
If you use mods, it will change that. If you use the Isle of Septa, you will start in a different location. Okay, hold up here for just a minute. I need to make a couple adjustments. Because the audio in here... There we go. Now, when you start off, you show up here. There's a stone. There are actually several different areas that here is. This is the broken road. There are like 5 or 6 of them out along this area over here. What you wind up doing is heading toward this area, which is the Noob River, basically, or the new area. Down this side is all low-level exiles. Up as you go further north, the area gets more and more complicated, more and more complex, and more dangerous to be in. Now, as you can see from here, the journey system unlocks, and you have Survivor is the first one that you get. Now, each one of these things is basically an unlock, and it's a way for the game to walk you through using attributes and knowledge as your character advances through the game. There are some things you'll want, some things you won't. Like, for instance, I personally like using the bow and arrow as a weapon in this game. Not everybody does. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Now, you'll find these things scattered around the world. They're basically story tablets. When you click on them, the game will give you usually a locational unlock, and it'll also give you a bit of storyline. Now, as you gain levels, you unlock different things on this section here. The knowledge is where you unlock different materials, how should I put it? Different gear. Like, this is all stuff that you can make, and some of it's just stuff that you genuinely just have access to. So, yeah, quite a bit of stuff actually is in here. This is the basic category, and then it goes into more detail as you go up. Like, this is the building materials, basically building houses and everything like that. Then you've got decorative items. You've got survival related items like processing metal, cooking. Some of this stuff is added by mods. For instance, this category has a bunch of stuff that's added by mods. Weapons, armors, the gods. Then there's stuff that's unlocked through ancestral knowledge, which is like, this is all stuff that's related. Like, whenever you unlock it, different parts of it will unlock it within the sections of the game. So, yeah, it works pretty well. Oh boy. Excuse me. As you may or not be able to tell, I am extremely tired. I have not slept well for the last couple days. So, I may wind up yawning periodically. But, yeah. So, you have the knowledge categories, and then you have attributes. Attributes are your basic ability scores. If you're going to be doing survivalist stuff and you need to gather a lot of materials and you're going to live for a while in the world, expertise is one of the things you're going to need. Grit is effectively your endurance and stamina regeneration. It makes you stronger. Authority helps you deal with thralls, and thralls are what they call people that you basically indoctrinate into working for you. Vitality is your passive health regeneration. Agility is what I usually build. Although this time I'm going to try and do a strength build. You have challenges that are related to dailies for like the battle pass, and the battle pass is something that they have incorporated into this game, which has you have different levels in it that you, as you go through up through 60, and you unlock, there are certain things per page that are free that you unlock even if you don't buy it, as you can see. But, and here's the but, the better stuff is stuff that you're going to pay for. But they are more than willing to give you free stuff periodically. Mainly it's decorative items or consumables, like in this case it's trebuchet balls or the statue there. But yeah, the battle pass is themed this time towards the Stygians and the relic hunters. They also have a bazaar, which is basically their shop, which you can buy shit in. It's honestly not a bad little deal. They usually sell, like, this is a whole building kit, and then they sell expansions to existing building kits they've already put in, kind of like the Zamorian throne room there. It's kind of an expansion to a kit that they've already put in. It's also where they sell stuff that they gave away periodically on Twitch streams and different things like that, because they do give away things quite a lot through their streams. But yeah, as you can tell, my character, because he's just started out, doesn't have a lot of skills, doesn't have a lot of abilities, has nothing going for him yet. The as I said, the journeys are what you're going to use to get through it. There's materials all around you, like for instance there's stone here, and some of them you can pick up, some of them you can't. Plant fiber is good. You use it to build everything from clothes to roofs on your house. Now, I have mods installed, but the thing is, the mods really don't do much for you as far as corpses, which I think is kind of funny. Because you would think that if you have a mod that lets you loot things, when you find corpses, you would be able to loot stuff there, right? Well, the thing is, corpses in this game are static items. They're placed. So, why would it give you the ability to loot those?
Hey.
But, you would think that it would, and it's one of the features I kind of wish a mod author would implement, because I kind of wish that I could loot armor from one of these guys at the beginning of the game, because you would, if that makes any sense. Now, if I had the not safe for work version, I'd be running around here butt naked, just so you know. Which is kind of entertaining. I wish they would give you the ability to have multiple characters at one time versus just having the one, because I get it. It's a survival game, but it would be nice to be able to, you know, have multiple saves, be able to go back in and do different things like that. You'll find a bunch of these notes around,
left to rot among the ruins of the past. There are others here, slaves, bandits and cannibals, exiles from lands I've never heard of. Some of them try to scrape a life from the wasteland, scrabbling in the rocks and sand for their own place. I cannot go on. The life that I left behind haunts me. The sun over the glittering spires of Belverus is forever denied me. The smell of my daughter's hair. I will pass the ghost fence, and this cursed land will finally end me. To whoever reads this note, I leave the last of my water and this message. Stranger, you have my pity. You do not know how cursed you truly are.
Yeah.
Now, something you need to know is I'm not just walking around picking up rocks for no reason. I'm going to use them at some point. But the exiles in here are all kidnapped. We all wear these bracelets. There is a border, which is basically a green energy that has been strung up between... I don't know if I can see one from this location or not. Yeah, over there in the distance you can just barely see one. It's like directly in front of me, and it's right where my cursor, right where that dot is. That's the border over there, and what it is basically this energy barrier that if your character goes through it while he's wearing one of these bracelets, he's gonna die. In a standard game playthrough with respawn limitations, what'll happen is your character will die and you will have no gear left. Your character in a hardcore survival basically playthrough, all of your shit will basically stay where you died, which means it'll be outside the border. You won't be able to retrieve it. It's just kind of gone. In a civilized playthrough, which is what I'm running, you'll be able to die and come back with your stuff, hopefully somewhere that you've already built a bed or a bedroll. And that's the other thing. Your locations are determined by that element that I just spoke about, the bedroll or the I don't think I can build any of this. Or your character's bed. That's where you set your spawn points at, basically, for when you die. You can stop playing wherever you want and just quit, and your character will lay there. This place is not a... it is not set up to be a totally evil survival game, but it's not exactly meant to be easy either. You can do a lot with very little if you plan ahead and figure out what you're going to do. You can also die pretty quickly if you don't think about what you do before you do it. It's like most survival games. Now, in single player, I don't have a lot of lag issues. Right now, in multiplayer and on the server that I'm currently running, there is a bit of a lag issue, and that has to do mainly with the
curse
update.
This sandstorm. We were forced to take refuge before the wind scoured the skin from our faces. There is something in the storm. Beasts. We hear the skittering of their paws outside the ruins, and their howls mingled with the screaming winds. The men are scared. I've put them to work crafting rudimentary weapons and torches from the loose stones and rough plants that dot this place. I've yet to meet a beast that liked fire, or the bite of the axe.
So, there are vultures overhead. Those are real, actual birds, and they kind of suck. And up there you can see another person hanging out, a corpse. You'll find journals and things like that all around. This one read itself to us whenever we were coming up here. We're gonna need that at some point, so might as well take it now. And we will probably need this. Let's see now. Yeah, we'll need more than likely this. Or this. Maybe that. Which one makes sense? Oh, I like this. I like shields better. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can make a weapon. Let's see what we can make. I'm crafting this out of my inventory versus crafting it at a bench. Okay, so I made a weapon. I don't have any bones, so I can't make any arrows, oddly enough. I have flint heads. Basically, I'm strapping a rock to the end of a stick, and that's about the way it works at the moment. Now then, let's go over here and see about what we can make here. Alright. Now, you'll unlock these things either in massive groups, which you unlock the warrior, it unlocks all of this stuff. If you unlock the shield, it gives you access to the very basics, and then these unlock as you go up and get more, as you see the requirements here. You basically have some of them that are real basic, and some of them require you to have better materials, which means they require you to have iron or iron reinforced tools so you can manufacture the materials to make them. Same thing with the swords, same things with any of the axes, that kind of stuff. Most of this is going to require iron. Skirmish isn't bad. These things aren't really bad. Now, I prefer running as an archer, but as you can see, again, it's going to require me to have certain things. Like this, these bows are better than the one that I have, but they all require the carpentry bench to manufacture, so I'm not going to be able to do that for a while. Then you've got armor itself, which you can unlock some things. The illusionist thing here is from a mod. Basically, it lets you make clothing and combine them on your characters that go over top of your armors. So that basically you can mix and match the way your character looks, which is fine. But and devious crafting has to do with thralls, and it also is a mod. And because I took Crom, there's nothing in the God category for me at all, so I'm gonna have to find my own. And let's see here. We're going to go with Apprentice Mason because Apprentice Mason gives us at least a little bit of unlock here. But, yeah, because we're going to have to make some shelter at some point because a storm's going to come through and kill us if we don't. Now then, let's see if we can find out anything about this person up here. And you'll notice I have a mod in for my HUD display, and I added a mini-map to it because I'm using a controller, and the HUD display that I'm using actually has a built-in mini-map, but it does not support people using a controller. I guess she wasn't worth coming up here for after all. Now, you can climb pretty much anything. There are certain areas, like the top of this thing that I just went up, that becomes more difficult to do. My character is getting thirsty, which is kind of funny. You'll see, as I pointed out, a lot of materials can be found just walking around randomly picking them up. At other points, you're going to need tools. And tools are the one thing that I ain't got. So let's see, let's go ahead and equip that to this. And then whenever I open this, I still have to go back in here and pick the arrows that I'm going to use because there are different arrow types in the game. So you want to make sure that you remember to do that if you're using a bow at any given point. Now, mind you, it's not that important here, but the important thing right now is for me to get somewhere further along. I also need to make a couple other tools, but I don't really have the stuff for them. I need more sticks, basically, so that I can make more tools, because tools are what you need to break down everything from creatures you kill, to gathering resources, to finding yourself a way to really live through this in the long term. Because one of the things you need, believe it or not, is wood. And yes, I said you need wood. I'm running around as a guy in a loincloth in the middle of a desert talking about how I need wood. My God. What a terrible person. Anyway, so ideally, you'll gather enough material here, you can make yourself a suit of rough clothes. I'm not going to do that because I don't really care. And they don't really provide enough armor to really be worth it. Now, what is worth it is building things like the stone hatchet, because you need that to cut down trees. Skinning knife, you'll need that whenever you kill something so you can get the hide to be able to actively make your own armors. So we're going to go with these two in my inventory, and we'll go with, let's see, this one here. This one here can go here, and this one here can go here. And that should give me a good enough start. Now, I don't have a building hammer made, but then again, I'm not really concerned about building at the moment. I'm more concerned with gathering materials. I can build something after I get somewhere where building is more functional. Now, I'm going to show you the area that we built in on the server that I run. And I will show you the area. This is before it has anything built there because, you know, it's just me. And then I will show you what it looks like after 4 people spend most of a month putting materials into it. But first, I'm going to gather a few more sticks because I'm going to need a few more resources. And a few more stone, because again, I need more resources. And I will build this pick, because it just makes sense to have one, because I'm going to have to mine a lot of stone anyway. Then I will put that. Let's see now. Put that right there. Now I'm making stone tools because I don't have the ability to make anything better. And I'm making stone tools because that's really what you got to work with at the beginning. Your goal at this point is to get to the river. Now, the reason why you want to get there is you need water, as you can tell, and you need food. And rivers traditionally have both of those two things. This is somebody else's camp.
When my father died, I knew they would be coming for me. It was only a matter of time. What I didn't expect was this. To be crucified and left to rot on the edge of a wasteland that I have never seen before. It makes sense to me that the cowardly fools that they sent to do the job would not have the courage to kill me. They are mongrels, the cast-off bloodlines of slaves and commoners, and such as they do not dare to spill royal blood. Instead, I was bound hand, foot, and mouth, and smuggled out to gods know where. They left me for the vultures, but I was rescued by a man. Such a man, clean-limbed and bronze-skinned. I have never seen his like in the cities of Shem. He came to me as I hung from the cross, and his icy blue stare was a challenge. Did I dare to live? Now I crouch at the edge of this wasteland, once a daughter of princes, now a nameless exile in an unfamiliar land. The shaft of the double-bladed axe that he gave me is a comforting weight in my hands. The answer is yes. I will live.
So that is the camp of the princess that Conan frees in the opening cinematic trailer to the game. And she is a princess, but yeah. And as you can tell, the more you do, the more things you accomplish, the more your stats go up. I have a little bit of food that I picked up from one of the loot chests, which I will consume now a little bit of. So each time your journey has these different increments. So the reason why I haven't bothered to craft any clothing is because it wasn't really necessary yet. It's gonna be here in a few minutes whenever I have to do it for the journey. Now, one of the mods that I'm using allows me to place weapons. Basically, your weapons and gear will show up on your character, not just in your inventory. Usually when you're carrying a weapon in this game, you get the one weapon that's visible. And if you're lucky, sometimes you'll get two. It really depends on the gear that you're carrying. But with this mod, I want to say it's like Fashionista. It allows you to visibly see materials on your characters. As I said, I am running mods on this. I am not trying to... there are certain things that I think that a game should have, like the mini-map, for instance. I personally like those because I don't like having to stop and look at my map all the time, and I prefer to actually have a mini-map up in a corner to use for reference. This one has a lot of nice features, including the local mean time. Let's see now. We need to craft some clothing, so we'll go down here, and I guess we'll craft ourselves a pair of shoes. And there we go. Then the next attribute on this thing should be filled, and you'll see spend an attribute point. Search for more survivors. So we go over here, we find what we're going to spend our attribute points on. He's mainly a strength build. And searching for more survivors just means finding someone that is not hostile. In the area that we're in, there should be a guy right out here at the end of this cliff that we're by that isn't hostile, who will also teach you something. And I'll show you what I mean. There are non-hostile NPCs all around the map. There's not many, but they do exist. Some of them will teach you things like emotes and things like that. It's how you learn some dances, it's how you learn some other things. But you come up here and you see the guy standing by the bonfire, and you've got these gigantic turtle apes, which it's the best way to describe them. They move like apes, but they're like called kappas. They're basically giant turtles.
Another new one, eh? I can smell it on you. Veterans tend to smell just a little more like despair. I'm Arcos. Once a sailor, now a wanderer. You didn't think you were the only one, did you? You should go up north. There's whole cities of exiles up there. In the beginning, there were only a few of us. But now, it seems like fresh-faced fools are showing up every week. Not all of them are as friendly as I am, mind you. Watch your step. There are a lot of desperate people out there. The bracelets, you can't remove them. Saw one fool cut his arm clean off trying to get rid of it. He bled to death right there in the sand. Nasty business. Leave it on. You'll start to hear the voices soon enough, and then you'll start seeing the ghosts. I don't think the voices are for us. Not for us here and now. I think they were talking to somebody else. Back then. Wherever it was. Whenever it was. Those pillars keep us confined here. Some call it the curse wall, or the ghost fence, or just the boundary. Doesn't really matter what it's called, does it? I walked all the way around it once. Had to be careful not to cross it, of course. Once in the north, I saw a few people on the other side, wearing bracelets just like ours, with gems of amber. It makes you wonder. I'm no scholar, but I've met a few who passed through. They all have mad theories about what the ruins scattered around here are. The Mirians, Giant Kings, Kari, Valusian Serpent Men. Do those names mean anything to you? Never mind. In the beginning, there were only a few of us. But now, it seems like fresh-faced fools are showing up every week. Not all of them are as friendly as I am, mind you. Watch your step. There are a lot of desperate people out there.
Well, let's see now. Did that complete the journey, or do I need to go find somebody else? I need to go find somebody else. So, since I need to go find somebody else, I'm going to go over this way. Now, the problem with this is, these guys are going to try and kill me. Just so you know. And at this point in my career in this game, they probably can do it. So we are going to take some precautions. Now, over here in this side menu, this is the menu of stuff that you can build without having to need a workbench. It's basic survival tools. There's some building, like this is the construction hammer. This is a mod that lets you fly while you're in construction mode without having to have your admin controls on. You can make things like a water skin, which is, you know, good because you obviously need to drink and eat. You can make a few stone weapons or low-key tools. These are recipes for things that need to be crafted at the alchemy bench. Basically, it's fodder that you feed to animals to change their appearance or improve the way they look in general. You've got aloe potions here, which are I just harvested. That's the green plant with the red leaves. And basically these are your healing potions in game. You also can craft these, which are rough bandages. These are used to also heal in game. These are more useful in combat directly. These are more useful after combat when you're trying to get your stats back up. They both heal you for a chunk of health. Water skin is here, as you can tell. Since we're now down by the river, I can drink what I want and not have to worry about it too much because I can just walk back over here to the river, stand in it, go back over to my water skin, activate the use key, and it should refill it. So that's not a problem. Now I crafted myself a set of stone daggers. That should make me a little bit more formidable. And I'm going to go ahead and put these weak aloe potions on my hotbar as well, so that I should be able to fight at least somewhat. There's a bonfire up here. There should be 2 to 3 people and an alligator that spawns nearby it. I'm going to try and talk to these people. What's going to happen is they're going to attack me more than likely as soon as I get near them, if the gator isn't there at the time. If the gator is there, then I'm going to have to kill it.
approaching!
Oh, that didn't go well, did it? Okay. She's a cook. Okay, that little thing on his side, that's a bleed out.
You picked the wrong fight!
She's using a heavy weapon, so that means she's slow. And I should be able to kill her without too much of an issue. Now, the archer was the most dangerous one out of all these people. And you see I'm going through and collecting whatever they have on them because, well, at this point my character is kind of desperate for food and materials. This is the area that we built in the main server that I play on. This is the first area that we built in. It's relatively a good spot, and by that I mean you can get a lot of materials here relatively easy. Everything kind of spawns in without too much of a problem. The problem is that whole alligator thing keeps happening over and over and over again. So, and on journeys, this thing wants you to gather branches, gather materials. Problem is there's a little bit of everything around here, but there's not a lot of anything. It's like... As I said, you can find a lot if you really want, but you're going to wind up looking around for it. Grubs are good for food, which is kind of funny. It usually takes about 5 units of anything in your journey category to unlock the next step. Stone weapons and tools kind of suck, so I try and not keep them around as long as possible. One of the few things that I like to do is get to iron as fast as humanly possible, which is pretty easily done as long as you can get your food and resources up to the point where you can process it. That takes a little bit more work than most people can do in a few minutes, so yeah. Alright, let's see what we got here left. So, one of the things I kind of wish they would do is I kind of wish they would set it up to where you had a little thing that was ticking over there that was showing your journeys, or at least showing your challenges. Because, like, this thing gave me harvest trees, craft a golem part, the harvest bloodstone, and create a golem. On this area here, I really can't do that because my character's so low level. The ability to even craft a golem or build parts of it requires bloodstones and iron and or stone and bloodstones, and you have to have the ability to actually learn it to do it. So, but in the journey category, what it wants me to do is to harvest stone with a stone pick and then craft a stone weapon. So I made the stone pick, which is right here. You come over here and I should be able to harvest enough stone from this to make that viable. Now it wants me to craft a bedroll. Now this knife here is called a skinning knife, and if you come up to the crocodile here and that was killed, you can get fangs, you can get a little bit of meat. You can also use a skinning knife on people. Now people, you get hide and human meat. Now I don't usually like to go the cannibal route when I play games. It's just a personal thing. It's not my preference. But I can't deny that I need hide. So hide becomes driving force for what you do at the low levels. You're looking for hide, you're looking for, like I said before, this plant over here is the aloe plant. This right here is it. There's a smaller version of it. It always looks kind of like aloe in the fact that it has the pointy leaves. Now, this area, as I said before, is where we built before, and you can see the fish in the water. I love this game just because of the way the game looks. But you can see the different things. Fairly easy. You can craft a bedroll right here. Then you have to place it, you have to slay an enemy, you have to create rough wraps, you have to heal yourself. So let's go down here, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a little bit of a place to stay. And I'm going to use my stone axe to crop down a couple trees. This is my starter base, so it's going to be temporary. This is not where I intend to build at in any shape or form in this game. To be honest, I'm kind of doing this one just so that I can show you guys some attributes of the game to hopefully get you interested in it. Okay, so let's go ahead over here. We'll go ahead and take out this, and we'll cut down some trees. Now, the thing is, trees in this game will grow back over time. As long as you don't put a foundation over the area, they'll come back without an issue. So I can literally cut all these things down, and if I build a house right here, I still can have them growing back in my front yard without too much of an issue. I'm doing this, one, for the daily, and two, to get the building materials that I need to build something more substantial than a little crappy hut. Not that there's anything wrong with building a little crappy hut, it's just not something that I particularly want to do. I'm going to need certain materials to exist here anyway. And in the long run, it's beneficial to me to go ahead and build this and get it out of the way. So, the safest place to build probably is that island there in the middle of the water. It's not where I'm going to build at, but it's probably the safest out of the locations because of different things. Whenever we built here last in the server, this whole area is currently occupied. There are two walls, one on each side of the shore. This whole area is occupied with buildings, and up there on top is a temple to Mitra. There's a couple other temples around here. I think there's one to Jabal Zog, there's also one to Yog, there's also one to the Kato. I'm going to go ahead and make myself a hammer real quick so I can make some stuff. Okay, so I'm going to make some flooring pieces. Now, less building restrictions increases the size of that arrow on top of these building pieces. Just so you know, that's where that comes from. This building set is the base set plus one of the add-on packs that I bought from the bazaar. So Now, then, I need to make, for my journey, I need to make myself a bedroll. And I can make one of these too. I'm going to make the rawhide bedroll versus the other one. Then if I come over here and you check, you see I made the bedroll. It wants me to place it. It also wants me to slay an enemy and craft wraps. So, now then, I'm going to go ahead and build myself a couple walls here to give myself a little bit more, I guess, defense. I need to make some twine first. Go over here. We'll go ahead and craft 10, 20, 30. We'll go for 40. Alright. So that should hopefully give me enough twine to manufacture my house the way that I want it to begin with. This will not be a good house for long term, but it will be a good house for short term. Now you'll notice the arrows indicate the outward direction of whatever tile I'm placing. Benefit to that is it makes mistakes a lot less likely to show up. I'm building this as a 2-story building because I kind of hate 1-story buildings in any game that I play as far as like confinement goes, but personally I just think the 2-story buildings look better. But as you can tell, I ran out of building materials and my axe is pretty much totaled. So I have to spend a little bit of my materials repairing it, which you can do from your inventory as long as you have the materials in your inventory and you know the recipe for what you're making. Now, as you can see, I have a little bit of twine left, but I don't really have any stone left enough to manufacture anything else. So what I need to do is pull out this again, put this away. Let's go ahead and do what it wants me to do, because might as well do that and get it over with. Let's see now. Actually, let's see what I can do. Can I... Yes, I can. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and place a floor here. And then I'm going to hop up on it. And I manufactured a bedroll earlier, which I will put here. And from my inventory, I click on it like so, and I place it down. And now I have a bedroll. And I've set my spawn point to it. The reason why it wants you to set this to build a bedroll is so you learn to set your spawn point. Now, it wants me to slay an enemy. Now, my character is really, really heavy at this point. See the way he's walking? I don't have any agility really at all. So, before I go slay something, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to decoration. I'm going to look in the storage area and see if I've got any storage options, which unfortunately I don't. So since I did level up, we'll go over here to knowledge. We'll go down here. See this right here? This is a wooden box. This is my storage option. Craft that. Now go back over the decorations and you see it opened up here. Now I need 12 twine, which I only have 10 of. So that means I need to go back over here, and it's going to cost me another 6 twine, or 6 plant material to make this box. But the benefit is I'll be able to throw stuff in it. Now your food has a spoilage rate, so anytime you have food in your inventory, you have to be knowledgeable enough of the fact that the food spoilage and what it is in this game. See, like down here at the bottom, it says it expires in 3 hours, 45 seconds. And this feral flesh, and then there's the exotic flesh, and there's this right here. Now, I'm going to use this one because it's already pre-cooked. I'm going to go ahead and throw that, these, that. I'll throw that. I'll go ahead and equip this hat, which now I have armor. Not good armor, but I have armor. Throw that in there and this in there because it doesn't spoil. I'll throw the wood in there, this in there, this and this. And as you can see, there's not a lot of storage in this container. I can actually eat the bugs, and I think everything else that's on me right now I can eat. This bow is better than the one that I'm currently using, but it's also, if you notice, see the white line underneath it? The durability is bad, which means it's going to break probably faster than I can learn to repair it. But I'll keep it on me for now. And let's see if I can organize this a little bit. I've got 2 water skins right now because I found one. I've got some gruel, some dried fish, a few bugs, some human hands, some aloe, the exotic food, this here, some bone arrows, that leather-bound journal, which I can put in here to get it out of my thing. This is a simple weapon repair kit. That's like gold at this point. I can throw this out of my inventory, which will throw it down here in front of me, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Same thing with these coarse foot wraps and this other loincloth, because I don't really need 2 of those at the moment. Haven't pooped my pants yet. So I'm good. So the only piece of real armor that I have is my helmet here, which is already damaged, and these pair of coarse foot wraps. The foot wraps give me 1 armor value. The helmet gives me 6. Kind of ironic, isn't it? But now then, let's see what we've got to do. We're going to check the journey to check that out. And we need to slay an enemy, and we need to craft rough wraps. We're going to have to heal ourselves and harvest meat from a corpse and refill a water skin. So if we're going to refill a water skin, that means I might as well go ahead and drink some. Get myself up a little bit. Okay, if we're going to slay an enemy, I'm going to pick one that's relatively easy to do. So let's go over here and see if we can help these guys with this crocodile again. But we're going to go ahead and use a bow. Now we've got the dude over here, which I just missed. There we go. That's a named NPC, and she will totally kill me if she can. And again, we're going to go ahead and harvest away. Actually, we're going to go ahead and gather the materials that we need to make the wraps. First. So there should be some down here. Yep, there it is. See it? The green stuff all along the bottom of this cliff. That's the plant material that we need. Harvest it real quick. My character didn't really get hurt, which is kind of ironic. And I'm going to make sure that I harvest as much of this as I can at the moment, because I'm not going to want to do it again for a little bit afterwards. Okay, so in my inventory, like I showed you before, there is this other menu over here, and this is your crafting menu. These are for the aloe potions, and this is for the rough wraps. I'm going to craft one set of those. And that completes that journey category, which is up here, as you can see. Then it wants me to heal myself. Okay, so I'm not really hurt, so healing myself seems like a waste. So I'm going to try and go ahead and get myself some better food. Oh, I forgot these things are so tough at low level. Well, I need to heal now. But then again, I should also level up a lot faster if I can just survive this. Okay, there's the bleed, so hopefully he'll die sooner than later. There we go. Pull out the knife. Heal myself while I'm remembering it. Equip this.
Oh!
Now then, let's harvest the meat. We'll go ahead and grab a few more stone while we're at it. Now you see on my mini-map up there, see that little thing, that symbol is for my bedroll. If I put down an actual bed, it would give me a little house there. Icon. Now, the other thing is you have this map here, which is the overall map for the game. Now, because I'm staying here at this location, I can go down here and I can add my own markers to the game to indicate what it is. So we'll go ahead and click that, and we'll do first base, and then we'll put it right there. And that way, if we move our bedroll, we'll still have that marker there to know where our base is if we need it. Now, the chick over here is lucky because I'm out of arrows, so I can't really do anything to her unless I do this and craft a few more. Now the arrows craft in bundles of 10. So see that right there? These are the ones I took off the archer though earlier. And I don't want to use those yet, but I'll use these. Oh crap. I have no ammo equipped. That's awesome. You can lock onto your target. I recommend using it if it's just you versus one person. It's definitely a little safer. Because of the mods that I'm using, the drop rate on certain items are a little better. You can adjust that by adjusting the mods. You should have admin control of your own stuff, to be honest. But unless you're playing on a server where somebody else will have decided for you what you need to worry about. There we go. That's been replaced. Now it wants me to place a campfire. Means I'm going to need even more material to build with. Okay, let's gather what we can real quick. I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just get credit for like going over here and taking over this one? Well, because it's not my fire. It's also not my base. It continually burns, by the way, so even if you did take this place over, that fire would still be there in theory. Now then, I gathered enough material, I think, to build a campfire, and let's go check that out and see if we did. There, that is. Okay, so it wants me to build a campfire. When it's talking about a campfire, it means this one right here. I should have enough in my inventory to do it. Yep. Now then, I need to place it, which means I need to go and put it in my actual inventory. I'm going to take this bow out. And I'm going to go down here and go to the campfire. Now, in your inventory management, you can sort by custom. You can sort by name. You can sort by heaviest first. And as I said, not a big deal. I usually go by name for most things until I'm looking for weight to get rid of and distribute. Then it becomes a little bit more, how am I going to get rid of this thing? Okay. Cook raw meat. So I need to go in here. I can throw in this. I can throw away that. I need to cook some meat, so that means I need wood to cook with. So I'm going to go out here real quick and do a little bit more chopping. Chop. And I don't mind that I'm over encumbered because there's nothing around here really too dangerous at the moment. Now then, the other thing that I need is I need more stone, because I need the stone to finish the building that I'm working on currently. Now I could do this with admin commands, because I do have admin control over this. But I'll be honest with you, it's kind of therapeutic to just do this kind of stuff by hand on occasion. Although some people, I'm sure, will disagree with that. But I really like this game overall, so it's easy for me to just say, I'll just play for a little bit and do what I want to do and see how it turns out. Now, the issue that we've got is, I'm not 100% sure how well this is going to give you audio-wise, or if I'm showing you something you actually want to see. But as a game goes, it's a fun play. It has a lot of build options. There are several DLCs out for it right now. Right now they have a bit of an issue with the newest update not being perfect, which is like any online service game. Everybody knows the way that works. It's usually not too big a deal for most people. Alright. Let's go ahead and do the cooking real quick. Because I can do some building while I'm cooking. I'll go ahead and split this. That's one of the things I wish that you could do, is just click on it and say how much you want to split it into. Because I really don't like having to do math in my head to come up with precise numbers for something like this. Although I get it. Okay, we'll go ahead and build this out real quick. This is a very basic structure. And there we go. Now the food should be cooked. I have a few more open spots. Now then, let's check my journey status, which should be over here. And it says eat a cooked meal. Easy enough. Just go down here, find the food that you cooked, hit use, and there you go, that one's done. And it'll have opened up multiple journeys along the way. And you have each one of these journeys, like you have survival shelter, right? Unlock apprentice knowledge. Craft a stone hatchet. Use a hatchet to cut down a tree. Blah, 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 blah. Most of this stuff I've already done. Homesteader. Unlock bed shaper knowledge. Place a bed. Bind to it. Unlock the torchbearer. Use the light source. Unlock the furniture maker knowledge. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, these journeys are basically ways to get you to unlock certain things in your inventory to make it easier on yourself. Because most people that start this are going to get a little lost. The journeys make it easy to find what you want to build. They make it easy to find different items without too much of a hassle. They just make the game a little more user-friendly, I guess the best way to put it. Now, let's see here. Where is... We have to go in here and activate decoration, and we've got to activate torchbearer is what it wants. But I've got to be level 7. It's going to cost me 1 point. I think I'm already level high enough to do it, but it also has the torch requirement. So that means I need to go over here. Well, no, I think it's down here. In survival and buy these two. So the torch requirement and the bed shaper requirement should now allow me to go back over to the first section. And now I should be able to unlock torchbearer, which is the light source, and bed shaper, which is the decorative source to let you build, well, the artisan stuff. Now this requires me to be level 14, so I can't do that right now. So what I will do is go over here and set up the survival shelter thing. Since I've already built, unlock the apprentice knowledge and unlock the stone hatchet, different things will finish itself out. Now each time you go through one of these, like in survival over here, it gave me a crate of survival supplies as a reward for finishing the journey. So there is a benefit to doing it. Sometimes it'll be rare items that you have problems finding in the game. Sometimes it'll just be pieces of armor or maybe some knowledge that's intrinsic to your character for making it further in the game. So, anyway, let's go out here for a minute. We'll go out ahead and take this out. Walk over to this tree and give it a couple whacks. See if we unlock anything else real quick. If we do, great. If we don't, great. There's the alligator. He's already respawned again, by the way. I'm going to have to make some more arrows or start using the bone ones that I collected earlier. Now then, one of the things that I like about this game is whenever you cut down trees and things like that, you don't have to deal with individual logs like pruning and that kind of stuff. I mean, you could make it that way, I guess, with enough mods or with enough other things. But I get it. It's not, you know, what everybody wants. So I'm going to go ahead over here again. I just built this house. Now it wants me to build another foundation, so we'll go over here and see which ones we can afford. These are ones from the newer set that came out for the stone set that I'm using. They're a little cheaper and they look a little better in my opinion than the base set. Now one of the things when you're building is, you'll notice here that I built this wall, right? So if I don't want a wall there, my options are either to delete it or to go over here and find another tile that I want, put it over top of it, and then build it on top of it. So you can literally build a structure and replace each one of the pieces within that structure if you really want to. And the journey is built towards getting you to build different items. And because of the way this is set up, you can take out the hammer. You can click on a wall that you want to make copies of. Then you can place those walls. Like so. And lastly is build a ceiling and build a door. Let's see now, what kind of ceiling do I want there? Let's go for broke. Go for this wall here. And then I'll show you how to deal with this. You can go up here and delete this by clicking on this portion of the hammer. You can do that same thing with this portion right here again. Now you get your building materials back for the most part. Then it wants me to build a door, so I'm going to go with this door here. Now it wants a ceiling, so that's a roof, right? That's not considered a ceiling. This over here is considered a ceiling, if I remember right. There we go. Then it wanted us to build a door. Well, I already did that, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove the door, come back over here, reselect it, and replace it. Then it wants me to place a wooden box, which I needed to do anyway. So we just go over here, we go to decorations, we go down to storage, we find another wooden box. Realize I don't have enough twine to do it. Come over here, craft 4 more. I'm going to look in this box, see if we've got any more twine. Pull that in here. These are saplings, it's from a mod. Okay, so the survival shelter thing is complete. We go over here, we claim our reward. We click on this one, we claim our reward. It opened up blacksmithing. And homesteader is still there. I'm pretty sure I still can't unlock that. I'm pretty sure I probably can't unlock blacksmithing either. But I could be wrong. Okay. And as you buy different things, you unlock different things. So Now then, as I said before, this isn't exactly my spot that I want to build here in this playthrough. I've done it once before in the main playthrough on the thing, so I will most likely be living here for a little while at least, but that doesn't mean I want to stay here. I'm going to try and move around quite a bit and show you guys the locations, as I said before, that we built in that are not currently in use on this, so you can see the location before we built in it and see what we've done to it. Anyway, if you guys like this series, great. Like, subscribe, ask questions if you want to try this game and you haven't. It is available on the PlayStation 4, so it should be available through the PlayStation Network for anybody on that. It is not cross-compatible, meaning if you're playing on PlayStation, I don't think you can play with people that are on the like same server that I would be on, for instance. Okay, we opened that. It gave us some more sticks. Looks like it gave us a survival kit. Or that was one of the ones we got from the other thing. But either way, I'm going to be going for now. I just wanted to record this and give you guys the opportunity to see what it is. This is Ren signing off from Wasteland Games. Have a good time. Enjoy your games. Check this one out if you get a chance. It's definitely worth it. I want to say they're running a sale on Steam for it at the moment. A recording. And they run them on Humble Bundle as well periodically. So definitely check it out. And have fun.